Welcome back, D Gen YC. We need to have like an intro where it's a lot of like rappers, but I want Birdman's like D Gen YC. Or no,
You want
maybe
like
I need Jadakiss being like that's what I need.
you need Jada coming in just that you need just like I just want like a bunch of like reggaeton horns and sirens in the background.
Yeah.
See,
It's
no, we're
week five.
five, 4 or 5,
Week
depending.
5. We're gonna say it's
Okay,
5 because West Virginia's 3-1. Wait.
there was a week 0.
Oh yeah. What week is this?
I think it's week 4.
Yeah, because it's week 3. They've played 3 games in the NFL, so it would be week 5 because
Whatever you
it's
want.
ahead of, and there's week 0. Hold on, it's week 5.
All right, week 5 it
Week
is.
5.
Roll tape. Roll tape.
Oh man, how are you tonight? Are you good?
Doing good, bro. I'm doing good. You know what? It's these 2 days without football that kill me. It's like, you have your Monday night and then you have your Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just I feel lost. I feel
I
like
don't
I'm
know
lost.
what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to gamble on. Like I'm just
Yeah,
like paying bums to like fight in the street. And I'm
I
like,
lost a unit on foreign soccer today.
that's that. Most soccer is foreign, so that's
Yeah, that's a good point.
that's the point. But to be honest, man, I'm doing good. I think we had another strong week.
Yeah.
Uh, Anything new with you before I dive into a recap, which I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I'm going to be like basically polishing you this whole recap because you were hot,
I've been sick bad.
bro. Everyone I know is getting sick. I'm starting to. I think the Roner 3.0 is coming
I
around.
think it might have been Rona, bro.
I think the Roner's coming off the edge like Micah Parsons, bro. And
If
there's nothing to
it's
go.
just exploding off the ball.
We'll be listening to this podcast in 3 weeks in a bunker. Everyone will be like, there it is.
Do you I'm trying to think. So Friday night I started feeling like not 100%.
Yeah.
And Saturday I felt horrible, but it was football, so I locked in and like, I could
It's
do
what
what I
you
did.
made. Yeah.
Sunday was bad. Sunday we felt bad. Monday, Tuesday, horrific.
And you know what? You powered through and you're here on Wednesday, which is
I'm
great.
here on Wednesday. And my
Shows you're a
my
fighter.
boss is like, "Why aren't you coming in today?" And I was like, "Well, I'm getting my stuff done from home. I need to find a new job, bro. They don't respect me there."
No. I mean, you've been there for what? You've been there for like a year and a half, 2 years, right?
Yeah, it's time. I mean, I've loosely applied to other places, but like it's also weird because I don't want to do the same type of career. So I need to make a
Yeah.
career change. I don't know if that means a money drop, which I would not like.
Not optimal. I mean, with how much money you're making off in your second job, does it matter? Maybe you're your own boss. Maybe you need to just fully focus on this.
That's a good point. I am doing pretty well on my side hustle, better returns than the S&P.
I mean, sir, if we were talking about if the DJ NYC pod
Was an
was,
investment. If we were an investment firm,
it would be unbelievable. I mean, the
yeah,
returns we would be getting investigated every day because they said there's no way you can reproduce these returns. These are Ponzi scheme level. These are Madoff level returns.
yeah,
I mean, with that, just the perfect segue. That's why you're the host. Because what a segue. Can I
yep.
do a quick recap of last week, how it went for those keeping track
Take
at home?
take the floor.
Well, Yinzer, you can't go broke taking a profit, and last week is a true example of that, up 0.5 units. So
There we go. Half a unit.
little micro unit right there. It's not the size of your unit, it's how you use it. That's fine. So basically last week, BYU +9, that was a loss. BYU letting up 2 defensive touchdowns
Yeah, it was
and
tough.
failing in the red zone on the last drive. That'll cost you a 9 unit or a +9. I had Notre Dame +9.5, A&M -1.5, 2 unit winner. These alt parlays are back. I swear I'm
They're
like
back. Are they back?
I'm back. Won it already.
Yeah.
Utah -4.5, easy winner. TC over 34.5. They landed at 34. That hurts. And Milrow, anytime to score, he was in the red zone
Yeah,
4 times.
he didn't punch it in.
The TCU one, man, at 34, and they went for 2 and didn't get it, so that hurts. But up 0.5 units. I believe I'm sitting right now at around God, what am I at? I think I'm around 7 units even. I think I'm 7 even.
Wow.
Frankie Dimes, an unbelievable weekend. Let me run these through. Oklahoma -13.5, 2 units. We talked about it 2 weeks ago and why it's so important to play these numbers when you give them. That landed at
It landed at 14.
that landed at 14 on Saturday.
And
He
a
got
lot of people got the number at 14.
yeah, a push is better than a
A
loss.
push is a win.
Yeah, a push is a win, but you know what else is a win? Fat W.
Yeah.
Marshall what is it, -5, winner,
Yeah.
easy winner. You had UNC -7.5, winner. Wake over what I think it was in the
That
50s. That was a loser.
that one sucked. I
And then who
watched
was
I
right?
watched a lot of that. I honestly, it scares me that Georgia Tech handled Wake the way they did.
The wreckage. And then what
I
was your other one? You had who? Maryland -6.
yeah.
Maryland -6. So Frankie Dimes last week went 4-1, up around 9 units, which is insane. And we are totally on the year. We're averaging about 19 units. So
We're up
yeah,
19. If you were a 19 bajillion dollar better,
you'd own the Galaxy.
you would own the galaxy. That's
You
what
would
we're trying to
basically
explain to you.
Elon Musk could be serving you breakfast. You
I
just
told you, I told you I'm the king of the Mid-Atlantic. I know these teams.
you
By the end
destroyed
of
it.
this football season, I might actually own the
You might
Mid-Atlantic.
own it. You texted me Saturday morning about a hurricane, like fucking Jim Cantori. You're like, weather's not looking good. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, Frankie.
I
Like, yeah,
did. Dude, I've been
yeah.
looking at weather models for the triangle, what is that? Raleigh, Durham, Winston-Salem, Chapel Hill, all that. I think that's the triangle. Like
Chapel Thrill.
Chapel Thrill.
Yep.
I was looking at all that stuff. I was like, weather's not looking good. But
Oh,
it didn't
but
matter.
it didn't matter. Listen, nothing can stop us. That's all we're saying. I
What
mean,
jersey is that, by the way? You got a jersey on. You're like Stump the Schwab.
you like when I'm rocking these?
Yeah,
It's
remember that autistic guy on ESPN that was like, it was Mickey Mantle.
he was great, dude. Do you think? Let me ask you. That's a good sidebar. Do you think that dude ever got any cutty? Who would?
I thought
Like,
about that yesterday, bro.
because
I
like,
thought about that yesterday because I was like, no chance.
but the thing is, there's got to be like an ESPN groupies because like Chris, like the Bear Felica, he might have got some like road tail, like
He's
some like
happily married, the bear.
whatever. Like
But
listen,
he's a Fox guy now because I don't care.
he was like he got one of Herb Street's leftovers guaranteed. Like they went to Herb Street. Herbie was the boy. He passed it off to Corso. Corso was barely alive. So
I tell you who probably slayed more than anybody was Fowler.
yeah,
He's got that Richard Gere thing going on.
Fowler. I thought you were gonna go David Pollock, him and his like bionic neck, but no.
Nah, he's a Christian guy. He's a God guy. Like he got
He
fired
is.
from ESPN. He was like, God provides. Like he said some stuff like that.
Wow, that's like a receiver after he gets shut out in a game. He's like the enemies will reveal themselves in like the smoke emoji.
I
Love
love when
those.
football players tweet the dumbest stuff, bro.
I love when like he's like I guess he's like the cauldron will empty, and you're just like, oh yeah, the dude went like 2 targets for like -6 yards. And that's it. He's fine. Just feed him.
It's like he's talking about his position coach or like the grad assistant that like threw balls to him that week. He's like snakes in the grass.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You know what else? This is kind of off topic. You know what I love? I just love the fact that receivers are just so like nowhere else in the world can you act like a wide receiver and get rewarded. Like the Eagles were kicking the shit out of some team, and AJ Brown still threw a bitch fit. And then the next week they fed him like 13 targets. Like, could you imagine at work if you just had like a meeting and like no one like asked your input, and then you just like chewed out like your boss for a week, and then next week they're like, here, he's gonna lead the meeting, let him cook. Like, I just love it. Like receivers are just a completely different breed. I just as a man, just no hands team, like I don't know, can't relate. But
they asked me to play receiver because of my height and speed.
You didn't have the mentality.
Didn't have the mentality. Now, that being said, I am a head case, so I was perfect for the role of kicker for the football team.
That's true. That's true. You were never in the huddle like Frankie Down's got to get his. Like, and they're like, Frank, we just got to kneel the ball. You're like, I need mine.
I did have to call
play.
I did have to call kickoff coverages in the huddle. And there was a couple times because my special teams coordinator, so I had 2 coordinators technically. When you have 2 coordinators, you had none. But one of them was a long snapper for West Virginia for years during when they were actually good, during that whole run. And then he played the NFL for like a day. And then the other guy was a linebacker at Wyoming. Go Cowboys. They covered. I had them off pod. What an incredible cover that was.
No.
And he played linebacker at Wyoming, played special teams there. And he was just like a mercenary guy. Just like knew the coverages, but just wanted people to kill people. That was his thing. Right. The long snapper guy was more the technical guy. And there was a couple instances he would always hold us on the sideline until like the play clock was running down on kickoff and wait to see what they set up in. And he'd be like, okay, go out there and get set. And then he would like tell us the play. I'd huddle us up. I'd say deep right, pop over, squib middle, this, that, call the coverage. There was a couple of times where he was calling it, and I hear Frank from the sideline, and I look over, and he's giving me signals for a different kickoff coverage, and I'm having to like relay that back in. We were playing our rival one time, and I forgot my sense of direction, and I did this. Like it was backyard football. I was like, okay, guys, we're going corner kick to that side, and I'm doing like a thumb motion, hiding my hand from the sideline. So we're going. We didn't get the onside kick at all, but I do remember that having to do that. Also, we almost got delay of game on kickoff every time.
I mean, I thought they would have just told you just boot it out of the back of the end zone, Frankie. Just
They,
fucking leg it through.
but they told me that they only told me that 2 times all season, and I got a touchback, and they're like,
If I set you up with a 30-yard field goal,
could I make it right now?
Could you make it right now?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's your
absolutely.
rate? 35 yards? 37 yards.
Gosh, my legs are in good shape. It's the kicking stamina I probably wouldn't have, though, is the thing. I haven't kicked a ball in so long, but like as far as muscular aspect and like leg stamina, like I like that my legs are probably in better shape than they were. I just like, gosh, that's a good question. I could probably make a 35-yarder right now.
The ladies at home are sweating thinking about that muscular leg stamina right now. They're just thinking about it.
Quad squad.
They're just like toweling themselves off. They're like, I bet he could make a 42 if it was into the wind. Like,
yeah. Yeah. My longest was 47.
It's pretty long for high school.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive. I had you know how stupid I am? I had zero desire to play college football.
You would have loved it.
I would have hated it, bro.
I would have loved to fade you. I would have been like, there's this kid at Akron University, and
I was FCS. I was definitely FCS level.
I'm like, this kid has the worst case of the yips I've ever seen. I would have probably been a billionaire profiting it off. You would have seen you walking out shaking, all neurotic, asking the ref. You would have been like, well, I think he wanted to tackle me, so I just let it. I didn't want to get in his face.
I'm playing for Columbia. Actually, no, that's an Ivy League. Never mind. Yeah, I just realized what I said. Playing for the Richmond Spiders.
That'd be a tough team.
That's probably more my speed.
You at Shippensburg, nailing that extra point.
That's NA. What is Shippensburg? Isn't that NAIA?
Still pays. They got that NIL money, buddy.
Did you ever, dude? Speaking of weird Division II football,
yeah.
When are the Bears going to transition to that guy that went to Shepherd? Did you know that?
Honestly, I think
that guy balled out in the preseason.
Yeah, everybody was talking about that's why everybody's pissed at Neil for not even looking at him.
Yeah, well, yeah. We could have a whole discussion. You want to talk about Neil for a second?
Do I?
Yeah, dude. Say your piece, because I know you have thoughts after Texas Tech, so say your piece.
I mean, we talked about the win. Yeah, I think it was a fine game.
Racked up another one.
It was another one. We'll see. I think you're going to see
racked up another one.
I think you're going to see my picks a little bit. I don't think another one's coming, but
I don't know, man. That hot seat just turned into a cool throne.
I hope they still fire him.
I tell you who's actually pumped up right now. This is like not even a joke. Is the administration at West Virginia realizing how much of a debt crisis we're in as a whole, and realizing we might not have to pay this guy.
Yeah, they're like, well, we just cut like every department ever, but you know what? Maybe we could have another 6 and 7 football coach for another year. So
run it back.
The climb is so much more trusted. Well, let me ask you this, because we're not at the midway point of college football. We're at the quarter, right?
We're at the quarter mark.
What have we learned from college? What have we learned? What were we right on? What were we wrong on? Are you looking back at?
I was told to not look at analytics until October 1st.
You get a sample. Okay, you want to get like a 3
so maybe after this week we'll dive into the like yards per play, like that sort of thing.
Because that's where I'm
loosely looking at it, but not so much. But we can talk about futures and where they stand right now, or we can talk about this who we think is on hashtag quit watch.
Because we always like. Yeah, because that's why I always wonder, because we're at the point now where like we have some data and we have some games and we have some eye tests where, you know, what do we think? What teams do we know we're going to fade? What teams are looking strong at the end? I know we've had a lot of really good bets where we're looking like, all right, this is new. We can change our mind from what we've seen in week 1, week 2. Like even West Virginia, we're talking about like they might be a stronger team than we thought. Colorado, obviously, under slept on, but any major thing that you've kind of adjusted? Because I was doing my picks this week, and now is the first time. Not I'm saying I feel like I'm gonna win more, but now I feel like I have a better grasp of all the teams.
Yeah,
I think there's 70, 80 teams where I kind of know what they are, at least know what they can give you.
Wow, 70, 80 is impressive.
I mean, you got to think I'm watching
a lot of ball.
You're watching a lot of games, and you got to think like, you know, there's a decent amount of teams where if I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not knowing who they're running out there every play, but I kind of know what they're about. I know what to expect when we're going in.
Good point.
And that's where I think there's a couple games this week where we were talking last week how it's kind of nice to bet to get ahead of the number, but you don't really have time to study the matchups. Where I'm kind of going into this week and I'm kind of seeing the board how I'm seeing the NFL board where I'm like, okay, I know what these teams are. I'm starting to see lines that I don't agree with,
Yeah,
and I'm starting to
exactly.
pounce on those.
Yeah.
That's where it's coming into, where it's less of, in the pros, you can kind of see a game. You're like, all right, I think this is gonna be a 4 point spread, and it's a 7. You're like,
Mm.
maybe jump on that. But anything major, anything that you're like, hey, I
Yeah.
think this team needs to pay attention, or who do you think
I
title
th-
race? Give me 2 teams that you think are going to be in it.
like national
2, 3.
championship.
Yeah, 2 or 3 teams
I
that you.
put I had a couple $10 free bets from DraftKings.
Yeah,
I put them on Washington.
that seems to be the team that's picking up steam.
That's that dude. 3 NFL type receivers. You got an NFL potential quarterback. Both the Washington teams are super fun to watch. The
Yeah.
Apple Cup, or what is it? Apple Cup, Governor's Cup.
Something like that.
That's gonna be an awesome game this year, bro.
I'm still sticking on. I've been on Michigan pretty heavy, and I know a lot of they haven't really impressed, but I feel like Michigan is doing the Alabama of old, where like they're not getting out of
Quiet.
second year,
Yeah.
and I've liked what I've seen. It just the defense consistently allowing 10, 13 points, and it's not a great number right now. I think it's plus 500 or 600, but I've been monitoring a lot of Michigan to make the playoff at like near even money bets, and I really like those. I think Michigan's a much better version of Notre Dame. And I saw what they did to Ohio State, and I think I can keep Ohio State reined in.
Okay.
That's my
What do you think about Ohio State?
That was a great game.
Can you believe that Freeman only had 10 players on the field after a
2 plays
timeout?
in a row.
2 plays in a row.
2 plays in a row. And it's one of those things where that just shows you, obviously it's a young coach. He's not, there's something where they were like, okay, we knew about it, which he's covering for a quality control coach that didn't know it was there.
Exactly. Or he's covering for Al Golden.
Yeah, he's covering for your boy.
Yeah.
At any point, though, like this is just basic coaching. If if it's anything within 3 yards and you're not 100% sure, you commit a penalty. That's the same with pass interference. It's the same with defensive holding. That's the same with offside. So if you have 10 guys or let's say you don't have enough time to sub or you have the wrong players in on a package, move the ball up 4-6 inches and just touch the guy. Now, the thing is, you can't jump off sides because they can run a play. So you need to touch the guy. So everybody was saying like, oh, they need to just jump. No. You need to just go across that huddle and just end the play.
Unevaded to the quarterback.
6 inches. I mean, yeah. And it's just, that's what you got to do. Or basically just as soon as the play goes, or if you're defense back, hug the receiver, like before the play.
Yeah.
Get that flag. Hindsight's 2020. They're all preparing for different things, but I think that game actually played out exactly how I thought. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout either way. I showed you the ticket I had. I had Notre Dame plus 9.5, and I had Ohio State money line.
Yeah.
So I kind of middled that. So that was something we expected. But I don't know. Ohio State, I was expecting more out of those receivers against Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's got a really good corner, but
yeah,
Hartman was the thing that disappointed me a little bit. The fact that he couldn't break that game open a little bit was kind of
I don't know, man. You look at that last drive, the calls from Gerard Parker were very, very conservative. Looked like something Neil Brown would do and didn't give them the chance to close the game out. They had the chance to close the game out.
Mm-hmm. And how many times have we seen and that was the biggest pick on Hartman was, he's little loose with the ball. But against Ohio State, you kind of got to play to win. You can't, I think Notre Dame's so used to playing these teams where they can just hammer that nail that they just want to keep the ball and limit the mistakes. But against Ohio State, you kind of got to go big. So
yeah, man.
That was what I expected. A tough environment for Notre Dame. I still think Notre Dame's a good team. I think they're actually going to bounce back this week. But that game kind of played out how I thought it would. So I wasn't too sure with the result.
I have a question for you.
Give it to me.
Can you name me a couple teams that you have on your personal #QuitWatch list? Teams that you think are teetering on the brink of implosion. Maybe coaches on the way out. Maybe players you think have given up. Or maybe the season just isn't what it is. Purdue's on QuitWatch.
Purdue, I don't like watching.
First year head coach.
It's Purdue. Honestly, Purdue and Illinois, which is the game I looked at this week. I'm pretty much done with both of them. That Illinois FAU game was disgusting. I know it's a sandwich game. Purdue, Illinois, I'm done with. Virginia Tech, I don't want to watch any more of.
But Virginia Tech is on QuitWatch. It's like bad.
They're bad.
I saw it the whole way.
It's still early in the year that we haven't seen teams giving up. But as far as it goes, this
week's interesting with Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
because they're playing Pitt.
Yeah,
and if Pitt loses this game, that's major QuitWatch.
Honestly, that's definitely a loser leaves town match. That Purdue or that the Pitt Virginia Tech game that could decide which
Indiana to me is on QuitWatch.
I never was into them in the beginning. I
Well,
think,
no, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, they could mentally check out after
yeah,
this. They just got taken to the wire by Akron last week.
I
Taken
think
to the overtime by Akron.
I think Michigan State's on that list with everything going
Oh,
around.
May. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And you got to think a pick that's not going to be on my board,
B1G
but I
Ben
am
over here. Big Ben.
man. I think I'm hating on him, but I think Iowa's really going to take care of business against Michigan State. And
Yeah.
I think if Iowa beats them 28-30 nothing, 28-7, I think that team will quit. So I'm actually looking at a couple Iowa plays. That was almost my last play.
Has Arizona
So,
State quit, or are they too young, or do you know?
I thought they showed a little bit more fight than I thought they would.
Let me
Like
see.
everybody was kind of saying Arizona State was going to be a 30-40 point beating every game. So I don't know. I feel like at this point
They
there's not a lot
sucked against Oklahoma State. I watched every second of the game. They sucked against Fresno State, got blanked, and then they put up a decent fight against USC.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm not counting them up, but once again, expectations low.
Oh, I think their quarterback is back. That kid, Brent Pry. I think he's back. He was hurt. Yeah, Drew Pine, not Brent Pry. I'm stupid.
Yeah,
Drew Pine, and he had a decent game.
I think quite the opposite though. What you were saying, teams have quit on. I think teams that we have like fully just invested in, like the Pac-12 is incredible.
The Pac-12 is awesome.
Every week there's 5 or 6 games in the Pac-12 where I'm like, I kind of want to watch those.
The Oregon State Wazoo, which I was on the right side of, was awesome. Sure.
And I mean, you just look at, you have Colorado, USC, Oregon, Washington State, Washington. I mean, Utah, like just
Utah is playing their backup quarterback, potentially third stringer, and like murking teams.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're not blowing them out, but like you're not scoring on them.
Rising might be back this week. I know we said that's like our default hashtag is Rising might be back, but I think
hashtag Bad Moon Rising.
Bad Moon Rising. But let me ask you, anything else before we get into these picks? Because I got some heaters this week.
What do you think about? I don't want to talk about conference realignment where people are saying that FSU and Clemson are like out. I don't know if you saw that today, but
yeah, FSU's been saying they've been out for a while.
I don't want to talk about that. I do want to talk about the Big 12 real quick, and I do want your opinion on who may actually be the number. West Virginia is obviously not the worst team in the league. I think it's obvious. No. Who do you think is the worst team in the league?
You could hear an argument for Iowa State.
Yeah.
You could hear an argument for
Houston.
You could hear an argument for Texas Tech. Who do you think?
I am under the assumption that it will be Iowa State.
I think it's Iowa State. And which is crazy to think because a couple years ago, Iowa State was seen as the perpetual team on the rise.
But Iowa State already has a conference win. They beat Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Oklahoma State's pretty bad this year too. I don't know
but people say Baylor. People say Baylor. Like this whole maybe this is a league where everyone beats each other up. Maybe that's what
I think it's a league of mediocrity, and I think it's a year where if West Virginia had a great team,
it would be an awesome. It would be a layup championship bid.
The thing is, there is a chance, and
our schedule's so bad we could make the playoff or not the play. Sorry, excuse me,
not the playoff, but
yeah,
if Garrett Green comes back. And the offense, the problem is the receiver room is just not good.
They can't get open.
They can't get open. So if you had last year's receivers with this team and this defense, you'd probably have an 8 or 9 win team. But you had 3 guys on that receiving core that were disgusting. You had Prather, Ford Wheaton, and Sam James. And this year you're running out, dudes.
Cole Taylor's our best receiver.
Cole Taylor's our best. You run up dudes that look like, I don't know, like Tyler Hero haircuts and like every middle schooler in the world, like with a fucking curly haircut. That's like our best receiver. It's some like white dude who's
it's supposed to be Carter. It's supposed to be Carter from NC State.
He's been fine. He's been hurt, but he's not breaking away from anybody in space.
No, he's supposed to be like the red zone threat, like the tall jump ball guy. But Cole Taylor's just that instead.
Yeah, Cole Taylor's been good. But I mean, I think we'll get the true test this weekend. If West Virginia hangs with or beats TCU
on the road,
it all depends. If Garrett Green's healthy, it's a pretty good chance that they can.
I don't think he will be.
Dude, that's an ankle injury. You got to get back after a couple weeks with an ankle injury.
If that's high ankle, that's long.
He's not a running. I mean, I understand running's a part of his game, but I think
the runner is okay. Go ahead.
I just think we see him that he was warming up last week. It seemed like they were trying to make it was a true game time because he was still out there.
Dude, that was not a true game time, bro. I from the minute that injury happened, it's like, okay, well, he's instantly gone next week. Like, didn't even think about it. This week, I will think about it. I will entertain the idea.
Yeah.
Not last week. I can't believe
I
we
think
won.
if
I
Garrett
watched
Green,
every second of that game.
that was a terrible game, but it
It
was
was
fun.
so ugly, bro. Our defense might actually be good, though, is the
The
thing.
defense is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But if Garrett Green comes back and the line stays around 12.5, I'll think about it. I'll think about taking it.
What the
The Mountaineers.
Okay.
At
You want to
12
get in?
and
I
a
don't know how
half,
much time we have. You want to get into picks?
yeah, let's get into it, buddy. All
Okay.
right. All right. So did the recap already. Frankie, you are definitely on the T-Bucks, my man. You are 12.4 units, which is just insanity. So go ahead, man. Give me your first pick.
If I was a $25 better, what would that be?
25 times 12, like 25 times 10.
300.
Yeah, it's 300. Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
You're huge. If you were a $25, maybe add a zero after that.
Yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 plays, and I'm leaving a slot open to take my favorite out of yours.
Okay. I got 5, so go ahead.
Starting off, I have Georgia Southern -6.5 playing a home game against Coastal Carolina. CCU later. This is not your father's Coastal Carolina team. With Jamie Chadwell leaving has taken a lot out of Coastal Carolina, and I'm really, really impressed with Georgia Southern. I mean, they hung 40 last week. I know it was against Ball State, but 40 is 40, and that very much impressed me. I've been high on Georgia Southern all year. I have their team total over. I put that in the offseason. Again, this is not the Coastal Carolina that everyone remembers it is. They see Grayson McCall is still there, and they say, oh, okay, cool. This line is moving in favor of Georgia Southern, or like the public is betting with Coastal is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I even fell prey to that last week. I bet Coast on a Friday just to see it, and
they got killed by Georgia State, who everyone would thought like, oh, Sean Elliott might get fired at the beginning of the year, and they killed him.
That was
at Turner.
That
Field.
was 100% on me. And is that a 1-unit play?
That's a 1-unit play. Georgia Southern, Gasso. Let's go.
-6.5.
Yes, sir. Under the touchdown.
I'm going to go to my first 1-unit play, and it's a pretty disgusting play. It's a matchup of teams that have a combined 1 win. So give me Utah State, UConn under 52.
Wow.
UConn's offense is terrible. I know Utah State likes to score, but they are going on the road, 12 o'clock. That's a sleepy start game for Utah State.
Yeah.
I thought this game was going to be in the 40s, just from watching how bad UConn's offense has been. I know Utah State can probably hang 35-38, but that's still expecting UConn to score 10-14. Yeah. I don't think it gets over that 52 number. Early start on the road. This looks to me like a game that's going to maybe stay in the low 40s. Getting that extra 12 points is great. So give me Utah State under 52. I like that.
Okay. I maybe check the weather in Storrs, Connecticut.
That could only help.
My next one is team total over. In my opinion, the second best team in the Big 12 is playing one of the worst teams in the Big 12. Oklahoma's team total is 34.5 at home. Again, I like their high-powered offense, and Iowa State stinks. That's really it.
So you're taking Oklahoma's offense has worried me. It seems like seems like they can score when they want to, but it's like it doesn't seem like they throw it in gear. That Cincinnati game,
they threw it. They were pretty lazy in that Cincinnati game. I did watch a lot of that.
It seems like the only time they woke up was when Cincinnati made it close and they had a quick scoring drive, and then after that they just took their foot off the gas.
It's like they have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
But can I say this, that the defense for Oklahoma does not look like old Oklahoma. Like it's actually a solid defense now.
That's Venables. You knew eventually that thing was
exactly.
And once again, Iowa State not great, and that's another 1-unit play.
That's 1 unit. So get me to 30. The drive to 35.
Drive to 35. I got that TCU 34.5 hooked me, so I'm terrified of that number. The next one I like is a 1-unit play. It's Memphis -3.5.
I looked at that.
Against Boise State. I don't like Boise State. They've had a few, really their wins aren't great. They're coming off a pretty tough road game, and they're going to go into Memphis on the road at a 4 o'clock sleepy game. Memphis, the offense isn't the typical Memphis, But I think if Memphis gets up 10-14, Boise State cannot get back in this game.
Yeah,
I once again expected this number to be around 6 or 7. I think it less than a touchdown, especially getting off that 4, which is great. I think Memphis at home, I think that's an easy 7 to 10 point win. And like I said, Boise State, if they get behind, the game's over. And you love taking the home teams that can do that, especially under 7. So
agreed.
give me Memphis minus 3.5, 1 unit play.
I like that, man. I got 2 more picks, both 2 units, and we
Give 'em
have
to me.
9 minutes left before we get shut off.
We got it.
This next one, man. What is this? A 9 a.m. local kick?
What do you got? You're going
USC,
USC?
Colorado.
Yeah. Over?
I have USC first half minus 11.5.
I like that.
I like it too. It being so early scares me that they're gonna be asleep.
Yeah.
Everybody. So I was listening to a podcast today that made a good point. When you are a top team, you get everybody's fastball. You get everybody's best shot. And when you're Colorado, who's like a mid 70 ranking team, but you talk the way you talk and act the way you act, you're gonna get everybody's fastball. Except you don't have the bullets to keep. Like you can't keep in this match.
And this is
So
Caleb Williams' showcase game.
and that's another part that they made is that like Bo Nix and Caleb Williams can put up Heisman numbers against Colorado and it gets notoriety before Colorado starts to suck, which they're going to, and everyone's like, "Oh, that win doesn't mean anything." The TCU win still baffles me, by the way.
Completely weird game. I think it was just a combination of TCU not knowing what offense they're going to play in Colorado. Like just giving up Colorado. Sanders was unbelievable that game.
Yeah, he was.
So,
And
I mean,
Travis Hunter was insane that game too.
Travis Hunter was great, and I like that pick. I'm probably actually going to tail that off pod. I'm probably going to go
11.5 first half,
like that.
6.5 first quarter. By the way,
I might look at that too.
I dabbled on that.
I might do a ladder with that. I might kind of just climb that. I might do 6.5, 11.
So, yeah. That's how you bet when you're limited and you can't put your like
that's right.
game first quarter,
keep, like,
first half,
doing that shit.
first half, second, third quarter, fourth quarter, second half game.
All right, this is my I'm gonna do an alt spread parlay because they've been hitting.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down. This might have to be the one I'm trailing you.
Notre Dame minus 0.5 against Duke.
Okay.
I think Notre Dame, this is going to be a big bounce back game for Notre Dame. They're not going to lose 2 in a row. This team knew how close they were to Ohio State, and they knew that if they have any chance of staying in this race, they got to boat race teams because that USC win's not enough to get them over the hump. So going on the road against Duke, I think everyone got scared against Clemson. That Duke's a good team. I think Notre Dame is going to dominate them in the trenches, and they showed that they can hang with some big level talent. Give me Notre Dame minus 0.5, and I'm going to link that up with BYU plus 8. BYU cost me last week, and a lot of people would jump off of that, but I liked what I saw from BYU. I like that passing game. The fact that they almost beat Kansas, other than those 2 pick sixes, they allowed 2 defensive touchdowns, and they still were within striking distance. I don't think Cincinnati has the gas.
Cincinnati stinks, man.
And it's at BYU. So BYU coming back home.
I actually like that.
And I'm moving it to 8. So that's a 6-point teaser, please. You can get that at minus 110. Notre Dame minus 0.5, BYU plus 8. That's a 1-unit play.
I like that a lot, Yinzer. My last one. Okay. King of the Mid-Atlantic strikes again.
We're going back.
Maryland minus 14, 2-unit bomb. They're laying 14 against Indiana. Indiana on the road, a team that to me is on quit watch. Indiana can't keep up with Maryland. They cannot keep up with Maryland.
Maryland is a fun team. That's
a fun team to watch, man. And we've been preaching it.
Maryland, I think for 2 years, has been one of our sneaky over teams.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fun team to just throw in when you're looking for points. And I looked at that game this week. I don't know why I couldn't get quite there with that 14, but I don't know. I definitely wouldn't take the other side of that bet.
No,
that's terrible. Maryland will boat race you if they have the chance.
Yeah, agreed.
Because Tagovailoa, he's going to put up points, and that offense is going to keep going against because they're going to hit that meat of their Big Ten schedule, and it's going to get tough. So now's the time.
The Caden Prather making an appearance.
Miss him. All right, I got 2 more plays. I got a 2 and a 3-unit play. I'm gonna.
I've got to take the dude. I got to ride with the 3-unit. Okay,
I haven't had a 3-unit play all year, so I got a 2-unit play, and this is a money line parlay. You can get it actually plus 103 right now.
Okay.
So, tell me where this loses. Okay. I want to Michigan money line.
Okay.
Georgia money line.
Okay.
Tennessee money line. And this is where it gets a little scary for you. TCU money line.
Why you got to do that?
Do I think the Mountaineers can win another game? I think this is like when you're watching a really good team in the tournament and you're like, that's Cinderella run. It's all good vibes. Then you're like, okay, now let's get into the meat of it.
Yeah, but they got
And
like a 3 seed coming up next game.
this is what I mean. This is a real game, and the offense we can't do. We've survived off two gimmicky offenses for 2 weeks. If Garrett Green doesn't play, this is a nuclear play. This is going to bounce up to a 3 or 4 unit. The chance that Garrett Green can come back and they can win it, sure. If Garrett Green plays, make this a 1 unit play. If Garrett Green doesn't, bounce it up to a 3 unit play. If you want to play it tonight because you're huge, play it 2 units. So that's my game. And then I got my first 3 unit play
Let's go.
of the year.
Let's go.
And it's one of those games where it was a team that I was super high on. And that's why I asked you at the beginning of this pod. I said, what have you learned from this year? Because you can't just bet off of what you thought in August and September. In the game that I like the most this week, this is a team that I was high on, and I'm completely off the wagon. I don't like it. I don't like how they looked against Virginia. Give me Louisville -3.5, 3 unit play. I know it's a road favorite. I know road favorites are usually kind of sketchy.
Wow.
But all NC State can do is have Armstrong run that fucking ball. And the defense is good, but it's not great. And this is another example where if Louisville gets up 7 to 10 points, this game is over. NC State should not have beat Virginia. They shouldn't have been in a bunch of these games this year, and they keep squeaking it out. I'm so unimpressed with NC State. And I think this number is still hovering because people are still thinking about how they were expecting in the beginning of the year. And I think this is the last week to smack NC State before that line goes up.
If you like it, I love it. I'll lock it in right now. Put me down on the card. Louisville -3. Go Cards. 1 unit for me.
1 unit, buddy. That's what I like. I have some big plays, but I'm going to go recap these because we're running out of some time.
Yeah.
Frankie Dines, Georgia Southern -6.5, 1 unit. Oklahoma team total over 34.5, 1 unit. USC first half -11.5, 2 units. I'm not going to play that on here, but I am going to play that on my Pikkit account. I like that.
Yep.
Maryland -14, 2 units. And we have the DGNYC just lock tag team. Louisville.
Lock tag team.
Lock it up. Louisville -3, 1 unit. Yinzer, he's going to go up the ladder. He's going to go the other way. Under 52, UConn, 1 unit. I'm locking in Memphis. Memphis -3.5, 1 unit. Notre Dame -0.5, BYU +8, 1 unit play. Michigan, Georgia, Tennessee, TCU, money line parlay. You can get that at plus money right now, 2 units. And Louisville -3.5, or excuse me, -3, not 3.5. Don't get by the hook. Louisville -3, 3 units. I'm sick of NC State. If they beat him, God bless them. It's the first good game NC State played all year. But I think I've watched enough of NC State to know that this team is not what people thought they were. So crown them. And crown
them. They are who we thought they were. Crown their
They
ass.
are. So I think I was pretty bullish on NC State at the beginning of the year, but I've not loved what I've seen.
Right.
And that was my biggest play of the week where I was looking at that line. I couldn't figure it out.
Right.
But right now, like I said, I'm up 7. You're up 12.4. We're up damn near 20 units. So guys,
we know
tell
ball
you every year that we're gonna win. And last year we were up, and the middle of the year is really when we crushed it. But anything else before we sign off? Anything you want to say?
Well, I was walking in Memphis.
Walking in Memphis.
Walking in Memphis. Dude, that's awesome. I haven't thought about that. I've been gambling since I was 18. Been gambling for almost 10 years. Never thought about that once.
Let's be huge, buddy.
Let's be huge. I might add the Memphis on my Pikkit account. You got any last words?
Let's get some winners. Tail these picks tonight, and we're going to come back next week. And we're going to tell you how much money we won.
Win or lose, we will booze.
Every single weekend.
All right, peace.
Peace, brother.